This video is for anyone who is an entrepreneur and you know the ups and downs of life, the ups and downs of business, and really just how in flow you can feel some days and how out of flow you can feel the other days. And I think about 2 days ago for myself, I was so stressed out, so anxious, this new offer that I'm doing. I have like 7 different programs running, going back and forth. I have one idea that I create on this platform. I implement it here, which then I got to update it on the other one, etc. And other days, you're just so in flow. Today, I woke up early, I walked my dog, and I went straight to the gym. I got a great workout in. I came back home, went straight to work. I got about 3 hours of deep, focused, intentional work in. And I went by the pool, went in there for 30 minutes, went for a quick swim, just got back home now. And it's just crazy because this is a testament to really how life can be. And I think back to different moments of my life where I was just so stressed, wondering like, is this going to work? God, what kind of plan do you have for me? And why does it need to be so difficult? I see other people that are making this work that are doing the same thing I'm doing and it seems simple, or they're doing a different business path and maybe that's one that I should be taking. And I feel like in this video, the message that God really wants to speak to the person listening to this is that it's not about what someone else is doing. It's more so about who you are becoming. And you might see their journey. It might seem like that their journey is easier than yours. And to be honest, it actually might be, but that's not the journey that God had in store for you. That's not the journey that is going to allow you to become the person that you need to be to keep and to sustain the thing that God has for you. You see, a lot of times in life, we're so focused on getting the thing, getting the girl we want to be with, building the business, but getting the dream body we want to have. But here's the thing. You can get extremely in shape and have 6-pack abs in 1 year, but if you don't manage and take care of that, in 2-3 months, that can all be gone. And it's really less about what you need to do, which is working out, eating clean, going to the gym, all that stuff, but it's more so about who you become, and that's the identity level. And before I launched my AI automation business, I was a certified trainer, and I still am, of neurolinguistic programming. And what that is, it's all about human behavior, communication, how the mind works. So we understand that at the deepest level of human behavior, you have the values. The values are driven from your identity, who you say you are. If I say that I'm a fit, healthy person, no one needs to tell me to go to the gym. I don't need to put it on my calendar or on my routine to go to the gym, because that's focusing on the behavioral aspects, writing something down, changing your environment, going to the gym. If it's just in my identity, I don't need to have to think twice about not eating the Twinkie or the cupcake. It's just who I am. I identify as someone who eats clean. And now if you take this same concept and you apply it to any aspect of your business, if you identify as a hard worker and you stop work at 5 o'clock, whether you got what you need to have done or not, you're going to feel out of alignment. You're going to feel like you didn't get a lot done. You're probably going to feel a bit stressed and a bit anxious. And I don't know, man. I'm someone who I believe it's okay to feel stressed. To be honest, I believe it's even good to feel stressed. Now, you can be around things that are stressful, but you don't need to feel full of stress. Things can be stressful, but you don't need to be full of stress, because the person who's full of stress, they walk like it, they talk like it. Everything in their life is a sign, and it's showing how they're stressed out. They're rude to people. They're irritable. They're snappy. They're short. And what I believe that we're meant to be is we're meant to be stewards of what we have. Because again, going back to the concept, it's one thing to get the thing, but it's a whole nother thing to keep the thing. If you get your dream girlfriend and she becomes your wife, now you have a long journey where you need to do the same stuff and more to keep that thing. You can build a business, and I've seen so many people build 6- and 7-figure businesses. It's happened to me twice. And you build this business, but it doesn't last. It's a business that is great, could be profitable, making money. Relationship could be amazing. But if you don't continue to maintain and water those things and steward what God has given you, it is going to be gone. It's not even a matter of, well, it might go, it will for sure go, no matter what it is. So I want this to be a reminder to you today that it doesn't matter what peak, what valley, what mountaintop you're at. Life is going to be good. Life is going to be not so good sometimes. But one thing that is always good is God. He remains consistent. I am that I am. He remains consistent in who he is. He remains consistent in the promises he has for us. And more importantly, he allows us to go out and experience life and not live in this confined box of religion and we have to do things a certain way. But he wants a relationship with us. And when you're in business, man, it is so important to have faith. If I didn't have faith in my entrepreneurial journey, I don't know where I'd be. I'd probably be working a 9 to 5, or I don't know where I would be. I got into some really bad trouble financially in 2022, I believe it was. And it was about a year of just a really, really rough season where my credit cards were maxed out. Debt collectors are calling me. I had eviction notices on my door for 2 or 3 months in a row, late on almost every single payment. My credit score went from a 792 at its highest to a 515. And that was a huge ego hit because I would coach people on how to build their credit and how to understand utilization percentage and how to maximize your score by knowing how and when to pay off certain things based on your statement balances, etc. And I was in a position now where I worked so hard to build this credit score. I got my first credit card when I was 18 years old. And at this point, I was about 28. So it was about a decade of me building my credit score, having a 100% perfect payment history. I'd never missed a credit card payment. I had great utilization and got to a point where I just didn't anymore. And you might be in a season of life, you might have came out of a season where you once had something, you once had a great relationship, a great business, a great body, and you've kind of slipped up. And maybe you're feeling like that your identity or your self-worth is tied up in that thing that you used to have or that person you used to be. And the only self-worth that is worth having is understanding that we are all children of God. None of us are perfect. You go to church, maybe you've been to church and you think, oh, these people are just like the rest of everyone else who's not a Christian. That probably is true to an extent, because I don't believe that if you go to a church, it's meant to be a museum of a bunch of perfect people that are living, but it's more like a hospital of people that have went through stuff and they're rebuilding their life, or they're focused on always building and getting to somewhere. To be honest, I've been in a lot of different business settings and environments and networking events and coaching groups around a lot of people making a lot of money. Everyone is broken in their own regard. Everyone is trying to figure and struggle through life just like I am at every different level. You can have a thriving relationship, but then your business is on the rocks. You can be a 7 or 8 figure business owner, but have a wife that's never seen you because you're working so much that now your marriage is on the rocks, or whatever it might be. And I think the ultimate goal shouldn't be to get extremely rich or only have a beautiful relationship, but it should be to be following God and be well-rounded in everything. That's that circle of life, our relationships, our mental, emotional, physical, spiritual standpoint. We should be trying to get that whole dynamic dialed in all together. Will we ever get there? I don't know, but I believe this idea of us being perfect or getting there is kind of a fallacy. And really what it comes down to is it's not that we're getting there, but we're going there. You're always on that journey. And the question you have to ask yourself is, if you were on a road trip that kind of never ended and you had to always keep going somewhere, but all the milestones along the way were beautiful, sort of like if you've been to Maui and you drive the road to Hana, the entire road as it loops around, there's so many beautiful places to stop and see a waterfall or see a nature trail or go on a hike or see a bridge with water underneath it or some beautiful forestry. And it's like, there's always so much to see along that journey of life. And, you could tell yourself, well, yeah, but I started here, I drove around and I'm in the same spot I was. And this is a season that I was in, is that a few years ago, before I started my insurance agency, I was completely broke and my cards were maxed out. And as I left insurance, I was in the same position. And I built something that was a beautiful business for a period of time. I got my dream vehicle, I got my own place. I had everything that I wanted during that time. And a few bad business moves that the people I was around made ended up causing everyone else around me, all the leaders and managers, to have to sacrifice their business because what was coming up from up top couldn't be controlled by us in middle management. And sometimes in life, you have to just go with the punches. You have to say, what in this is my fault? What can I hold myself accountable to get better? And the things that I can't control, what did I learn from it? Because I promise you, at any given point, there's so much that we can learn from the situations we're in that are going to make us better entrepreneurs, make us better business people, make us better fathers, better husbands. But when you stay on that pursuit of wanting to learn and grow, the world is your oyster. You have so much in front of you. But when you don't, when you're just focused on, man, life sucks, I'm stuck, you stay and you remain stuck. So I want this message here to go out to the entrepreneur or the business person, or maybe you're just a man or woman watching this where you feel stuck in your life. And I want you to know that you're only stuck because your perspective is stuck and it's not changing. When you can elevate your perspective, in NLP, we call this chunking up, you can then see a different level of terrain. It's almost like if you were in a maze. When you're in the maze, all you can see is right in front of you, what's to the side and what's behind you. But if someone were to lift you up, you'd very easily be able to see, okay, I got to hang a left, I got to go straight, make a right, do a loop, and then I'm out of this maze. So I want this to be your encouragement, where if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, or you can't see the end of this proverbial maze, I want you to hit up someone you know, lean on people around you, get vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and ask people for help. It could even be a stranger on social media. One of my friends today, I haven't seen in years or talked to in a while. He used to be a part of my insurance company. He's going through a surgery and he just asked me to pray for him. And absolutely. And for me, I see this as a sign of boldness for him reaching out and asking me to pray for him during this difficult season. And I'm sure there's so many people that you can reach out to. And if you can't, you have me. Reach out to me on Instagram and send me an audio note of what you're going through. I'm happy to send one back, whether it's offering prayer, business strategy, mindset, whatever it might be. You have people in your corner that want to support you, but you have to let them. So realize this, life does get better. I say all of this stuff looking at the ocean from outside my window right now, where a few months ago I was hating where, literally 5 weeks ago, I was hating where I was living. I was hating what I was around, the things I was around, the environment. And I didn't think something like this would be possible, but things can happen so quickly, I promise you. So they can happen quickly, but you cannot lose hope. The second you lose hope, you think that the situation you're in is never going to get better, and it won't. You need to remain hopeful for what's in the future. I'm believing in you. Have a great day.